Okay, so what is coasteering? Coasteering is basically doing all the things you're not supposed to do in the area between the ocean and the cliff edge, which sounds kind of wild, but using the right equipment in a safely managed group, it's an amazingly fun experience, and it's not something to be worried about because it suits people of all ability levels. And this is how. The first thing you do is you come to Newquay Activity Centre, or the activity centre that's delivering your coasteering, and you get kitted up in the right kit. So you have a nice warm wetsuit, so we always use winter wetsuits. You have a pair of robust shorts to protect that wetsuit. You have a helmet, you have a buoyancy aid, and you have some lace-up trainers or some really robust wetsuit boots that are going to protect your feet. You're then taken to the start point of your journey and you're given a very clear briefing, and that's where your training essentially begins, because you're going to be taught how to operate in what's known as the intertidal zone. So that's where there's rise and fall with the ocean smashing up against the rocks. Sometimes it'll be a wild day, sometimes it'll be a calm day, depending where you're delivering this activity. And getting in and out of the water will be the first skill that you learn. So the entry and the exit, we call it. So the entry into the water needs to be done in a specific way. So you'll be looking to get in either by climbing down into the water, lowering yourself into the water, or of course jumping into the water, which I'll talk more about later on. And then exiting, which we do using a defensive swimming technique, so putting your feet out in front of you and then climbing up onto the rocks, making sure not to damage your hands as you rise and fall, so you don't sort of scrape your hands on the rock. So a few specific techniques for that. Then from there you'll learn what we call wild water swimming, so becoming familiar with timing your swimming with the waves, becoming familiar with swimming with a buoyancy aid on, which can be quite tricky, and then managing yourself as you go through what are called sluices. So sluices are the currents of water that run between rocks, which are kind of like rapid, wild water rapids. Super good fun when you're taught how to do it properly. You're kind of like pinballing through this little area, and it's like a free Mother Nature's ride. So this culminates in some of the highlights for me of coasteering, which is cave exploration, especially when you've got partly filled or filled caves which have water inside them, and there's really interesting techniques in order to manage those. And of course, jumping into the water from rock ledges into deep water plunge pools, which are planned by your guide in order to make sure these are done safely. Now, jumping is a technique in itself. You don't just lob yourself off the edge of a rock. There's a very specific technique to jump in. You're helped by your guide to manage this technique and learn this technique. So you're going to cross your arms across your body, you're going to land feet first, and you're going to make sure that you enter that water safely. Then when you come up, you're going to tap on your helmet and signal to your coasteer guide that you've got a complete safe entry and you're ready to move on to the next part of the course. So essentially, we say that you can sort of take, within our safety rules, the adrenaline level up to however you want to. So if you wanted to do a very small jump and that was your area that you wanted to manage your sort of adrenaline levels to, that's fine. If you want to take it to bigger jumps, that's also fine, but we need to see you demonstrate good technique to enable you to access the bigger jumps on the coasteer. But one thing I really want to get clear in this guide to coasteering is that it's not all about jumping. Coasteering is about experiencing areas of the coast that you wouldn't usually access or see, and the big benefit of that is that you come up close and personal with the best of Mother Nature. You're going to see huge crabs, you're going to see grey seals, you're going to see all manner of seabirds, and you'll come away from the experience feeling extremely alive. That's the best way to describe it. So don't take my word for it, enjoy the footage of this amazing activity. Get involved in it yourself, don't be scared, you're going to be in safe hands. Although it looks like a very exciting adrenaline-filled sport, it's extremely safe because it's delivered in such a well-delivered, safe manner. But it's something that everybody should experience, and once you've tried it on one route, no doubt you want to try it on many others. And the one thing we can say about coasteering is, even if you do the same route over and over again, because of the tide, wind, swell, it's different every time. So get stuck in, give it a try, and let us know what you think in the comments below.